Hello everybody, welcome to Before We Break Up Again with Alfie Brown and Jessie Cave. Today is a very special episode. I'm interviewing Alfie with questions that I don't think we've touched upon before in our 62 episodes of this experiment. He's very, very engaging and a lovely guest. Thank you for doing this, Alfie. I really appreciate it.
Join our Patreon, patreon.com/braveclown on Mondays or Tuesdays probably, episode of the Patreon.
It's the summer holidays, so give us a bit of grace.
Give us a bit of grace, hence the late release of this podcast. Apologies. On Mondays, Tuesdays episode, I will be interviewing Jessie in much the same way that she interviews me in this. We thought that would be a fun thing to do, to interview each other. Isn't that fun? So join the Patreon, patreon.com/braveclown.
Now,
I'm on tour, alfiebrowntour.com. Jessie, any the plug?
Yeah, we're both doing a show on Sunday, the 26th. Tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. In Haggerston, London. I'm on at 7th. In good old Haggerston.
In Haggerston, London, in the United Kingdom.
7:30 I'm on, and then 9 o'clock Alfie's on. It should be quite a fun night.
It should be.
And I'm in Edinburgh from the 6th to the 13th of August. Alfie's there all month. Please come. Also, we're doing a live podcast in Edinburgh.
All the links are below, whether you're listening or watching this. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. This is Before We Break Up Again.
Okay. Are you ready for a special podcast episode?
Yeah, you don't need to worry about introducing it. We'll have introduced it in the intro.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, this is my podcast now, and I'm interviewing you, Alfie Brown, as if I didn't know you.
They know that they heard that in the intro.
Oh, sorry.
That's
sorry. Well, I should also just say that this is a very early morning recording for us. And Alfie isn't the best.
I am not happy.
In the mornings.
Really, really, really deeply unhappy.
So my very lovely questions might not get the response I deserve.
This is an interesting thing because I think, because you know how you mention your luteal phase a lot, don't you? Because I have my luteal phase, but I have it every single morning.
Oh, I know. And I've been quite good though. I've left you alone in the mornings for a while now.
But I wonder what it is. I've always wanted to be able to be one of these people. Because getting out of bed feels like such an insult, an imposition, and a deep cruelty. And it always has done. And I wonder, chemically, am I allergic to something that I just keep on fucking consuming? What can I do to stop every single morning? I don't like going to sleep. I've never liked going to sleep ever since I thought it was a waste of time. It's like I hate it because I think it's so similar to death, but like in a mini form.
Yes. I dread it. I dread it so much.
Well, you don't dread it that much because I can't get through a whole episode of The Sopranos without you.
No, but if I was just left to just doze off without a podcast and without all of my accessories that I need, I cannot. I get so scared. I get so scared about that stillness and that quietness, and that is because it probably resembles death. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
But we are quite funny. We are gaining the accessories that we need to fall asleep.
Well, you are.
Well, I think you should start mouth taping. I think that would maybe.
I have a bit of a beard mouth.
Yeah, but you can just.
It won't work functionally. Surely it can't work on a beard this thick and
It would
rich.
be fine. You just have it just there.
No,
just there and there.
I've got my lavender oil. I like my lavender oil on my pillow.
Yeah, I went back into the bedroom this morning and it really did. The lavender hit me. It's just, we really do need everything. I need my mouth guard. I need to have everything. I need to have exactly the right pillows.
Mouth guard, mouth tape.
Mouth guard, mouth tape, pillows. Obviously, my face is kind of smothered in oil.
Slugging.
Less so recently. I haven't, because I put my coconut oil in the fridge.
You've left yourself available to lovemaking.
No, that's nice that you think that, but no,
Well, no, because the slugging does preclude you from the enjoyment of lovemaking. Because
it precludes your enjoyment.
Well, it just means I won't embark upon that particular adventure of an evening. If you are shiny, to quote, what's his name in Moana?
Jermaine Clement.
You dazzle like a wealthy woman's neck. Scrub the deck. Shiny!
Okay, yeah. I'm using less and less, but that's partly because, like I said, it's in the fridge, the coconut oil, because in the heat wave it went to liquid. So I put it back in the fridge and then I keep forgetting to get it from the fridge.
Mm.
And I'm using less mouth guard than I used to.
You're losing less
Well, I just
mouth
use
guard.
I don't use my sleep apnea one anymore because of my mouth tape. If there is any sleep apnea experts who listen to this podcast, please will you get in touch? Because I've just accidentally slipped through the net with the NHS with my sleep apnea. I have quite bad sleep apnea, and yet I won't get any. I don't pass any of the tests. Anyway, if you are, no one will be. But
what
do let us know.
happened to, like, you've been to see so many experts about it. What?
I don't pass the tests. I don't fail the tests. So on the nights that the sleep test that I did at home, I didn't pass because you had to put stuff up your nose and in your ears. And obviously I won't do that. So it kept falling out and I felt suffocated. So I didn't, so that one, pointless. And then.
What a mad test. Oh, if you just want to stick these tubes up your nose and fall asleep. Well, no, I already have difficulty sleeping. So, what we need to do is just go into your bedroom and we're going to get a member of the Luton Girls Choir to scream in your face all night. And you just need to sleep with that going on and we'll sort of monitor it. And the girl from the Luton Girls Choir, she'll be screaming, of course, just at about 3 a.m. And then
well, that's basically what happened when I went in for my hospital sleep test because it was the Trump.
That's basically what happened.
Well, it was the night that Trump got elected again. So I was watching the election all night, which wasn't conducive to sleep.
No.
And so I failed that test. And then luckily the consultant was really good and said, oh, you actually are, the reason why your GP wouldn't have thought that you have this is because you have you're not obese and you're not a man who's in their 60s. And, I don't fit any of the descriptions of what people who usually have sleep apnea do. But he was like, but actually, you have a very, very wide jaw and a tiny neck, which is really the perfect.
That's why you haven't been back. You're a very inappropriate
he loved
doctor.
Me. Yeah. It's the perfect. This is going off track. Can we get to my questions? Because I have some interesting questions and you've delayed it because you're worried that my question's going to be shit. I can tell.
That's not what I'm. You worry too. You're not a very good judge of how I'm feeling about anything.
No, especially in July.
Oh yeah.
Pre-Edinburgh Festival in July. I don't know who you are.
I literally during recording this podcast, I drifted off and thought about my show. I think while you were speaking.
That's good.
I think I just had a good idea for it.
Oh, that's good. Write it down. Here you go. Write it down. Oh, that's a letter to Donny. There you go. Write it down. Tell us all.
It's just there's a routine at the beginning about the dog, which is sort of allegorical for how we treat people we disagree with. And maybe it would be better if rather than calling people who are on the other side of political arguments dicks, pricks, shits, we should try and understand them in the same way that we understand dogs. Like it isn't, you can't get angry at a dog for weeing on the carpet. That's not conducive to it stopping.
I can.
It's not conducive to it stopping doing it. Well, that means you're the same sort of person as calls reform voters dickheads.
Yeah, but they are. No, they're not.
But you won't change their mind that way, so it's pointless. It's just a complete waste of energy.
Well, it's like that tattoo. The reason why I got this tattoo is to remind me that their hands are so small when they hold my hand, and when they get, when they're naughty, you forget that, and you tell them off. You're telling them off, like an adult. When their hands are so tiny, they are so little. You cannot tell them off. They don't understand.
Yeah. And then that will lead into the bit about Donald Trump that because I feel very about how I don't I feel sorry for Donald Trump.
Right. Okay, I'm excited to see.
Cool.
All you wrote down there was D.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to write things down. I don't do that. I'll remember that. It's in there now.
Will you?
Yeah. I was just thinking about the order. It wasn't like a new idea. It was just,
cool. Oh, that was quite fun, though, to think that you just had a new idea live on camera.
Just popped into my head.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Right,
so,
here we go. This is the Jessie Cave Show.
You going to thank me for joining you, or?
Thank you so much for joining me. I have been a fan of yours for so long.
How many years?
I tried so long to book you. Finally, our schedules worked. We just got out of bed and rolled into this bedroom, and we've decided to record. It's brilliant. I first became interested in you in about 2012 when I first saw you and met you. I didn't actually meet. Did I meet you in 2012?
You did, yeah.
Or did I meet you in 2011?
12.
Did I meet you first at the Edinburgh Festival?
In 2012.
And is that when I sat in your lap?
No, that was
2013.
I don't know. I don't actually really remember that, so I don't know what year.
You don't remember me sitting on your lap?
I do, but I don't.
How many women sit on your lap?
Back then, quite a few. Back then, quite a few.
It's honestly, there are so few surprises that happen in life, okay? If you really think about it. One of the biggest surprises of my life is sitting on your lap. I have never sat on a man's lap. But for some reason, we didn't even know each other. And you pulled me towards you and I sat on your lap. I was like chronically single and had never, ever really had a relationship for longer than a few weeks. And this man I had never met who I thought was so cool was just chatting to me and then pulled. I don't even know if we were chatting. I just remember sitting on your lap and being like, oh my God, I'm on his lap. What do I do?
Weren't we in a group situation? Were we not?
Yeah, maybe Ian Sterling was with us.
I think so.
Maybe Daniel Sloss.
Maybe.
And yeah, it was like, why would I sit on your lap?
Because I always thought you were
heavy.
And
Only
I wanted to
test
check.
it.
I wanted to, it's like a fair with a pig. I wanted to guess the weight. I was 8.5 stone, I think.
That's 2 stone shy of probably what I was. I'm a heavy girl.
I know, but I'm not going to.
Out
We're 11
weight.
minutes into the podcast. I'm not going to piss you off by using your greatest and most sensitive trigger point.
KGs.
Stones.
Yeah. Stones trigger me. That's not what this podcast is. Let's get focused.
I always thought you were beautiful and recognised very early on that you were not going to be very good at flirting. So I thought I would very much have to take the lead in that particular dance.
You did. Always, yeah. On our first date, it was like an assault in a good way. Like a sexy assault.
Yeah.
It was just like, what's happening?
Like
He's disarming me.
A sexy assault.
Yeah, everything you did, your eyes and the way you spoke to me and the questions and then listening to me and letting me talk. And the silences almost made me more nervous and more into you. And then outside the pub, you trying to kiss me and me being like, no. Yeah, it was so bizarre. Anyway, that's not what this podcast is about. I have some questions for you. They're all around the place, but I thought it'd be quite fun to just see what you say.
Yeah.
Because I realised the other day you said something about going to drama classes or something when you were a child, or something where I was like, I didn't know that.
Saturday mornings, yeah.
Yeah, and I realised there is still so much that I don't.
Like my horse riding lessons.
That's what it was. Because if I had known that you had horse riding lessons when you were a boy, I would have noted that up here.
And what would you have done with that information? Not had children with
slightly
me?
disappointed, yeah. No, it's fine. I think, I don't know, boys who ride horses are cool. It's just because it's quite posh.
But I think, first of all, like, what, are people supposed to not ride horses for fear of being, like, I've never really understood
exactly.
that. And also, if you'd have been there,
If you'd have seen it,
then you would have done the same.
same.
It wasn't posh.
I understand that, but to me, horses are fucking posh.
Yeah, they are.
And
But
people who know what to do with a horse. But now that we've got a giant dog, I think.
I refer you to the Katie Price documentary and her horse riding. I don't think you could accuse Katie Price of being posh. She certainly has money, but she's not posh. But maybe it's like this aspirationally posh thing that she did. Either way, it was like hour-long lessons every couple of weeks where I learned how to. I went from.
I don't actually want to talk about horses.
Yeah. But I did learn how to canter. That's important.
Okay, good. No, it's completely. Yeah, maybe I'm just because I don't know anything about horse riding. I just assume it's what posh people do. But and
what should I have been doing?
I don't want to talk about that.
Going down the docks
that's not
and
on
queuing
my
for
agenda.
hours.
It's not on my agenda. Okay, I was making the point that there's some things that I don't know about, and it'd be interesting to just ask. Okay, so did you have a happy childhood?
No.
Really?
Well, I had to go to school all throughout my childhood.
And wake up in the morning.
And almost every morning had to wake up. And it was always an ordeal. Going to sleep, also an ordeal. I used to read the Argos catalogue with my bedside lamp. And I would sort of choose which iron I was going to have when I was an adult and choose which Hoover I was going to have. From a very early age, I found the happiness in consumerism. Those very, very dull consumer goods, white goods, do they call them? And browsing the Argos catalogue. Sometimes I'd even have like a Debenhams catalogue, and then they'd have bras in. And as I got older, I remember Caprice, the model, was modelling
She
bras.
dead now?
No. And it's almost worse when the answer's no, isn't it? You just assumed that somebody who is alive.
No, I'm confusing her with someone
Dead, yeah.
Tara Palmer Tompkinson.
No, you're not confusing Caprice with Tara Palmer Tompkinson. They're not, they don't have the same colour hair, they don't have the same shaped face, they don't have the same job, and they're not the same nationality.
Yeah, but they're part of that same era of famous it girl model type thing. And
no,
because we've been watching the Jordan documentary.
Tara Palmer Thompson was an it girl, Caprice was a model.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
And
Canter on.
And that she had one of these sort of sheer gauze mesh bras on. You could see the nipple through the bra.
Right. So
And
what
that
we're going to
sent me
do...
crazy. So that was a happy moment in my childhood when I saw Caprice's nipple through in the Debenhams catalogue. But I would furthermore... school was such a horror, and I couldn't quite believe how awful it was to have to go and sit and I didn't understand how it was compulsory, like how you could do that to somebody. Like I've got to go away all day, away from my home and my parents, to speak to these teachers who, half the time were nice and half the time were not. And that isn't a good enough ratio. A classroom full of thick cunts who hated me. No disrespect to any former schoolmates of mine. But, and a lot of you, I see you still on Instagram and you're friends with each other, and that's great. And you're very nice, actually, a lot of you. But also none of you are very nice to me. Who
are you seeing on Instagram? I don't have any connection with maybe one person from primary school on Instagram. Maybe a few, maybe like 4 from high school.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
So you still see people from primary school on Instagram?
Desperately interested in what they're up to. And now...
What?
Yeah, very, very fascinated with what they get up to in their lives and what sort of people they are and how many of them are now Tories. And, So did
you look them up?
I think it's... I'll say this as quickly as I can because it's very boring. We all became Facebook friends after we left school.
No, say no more.
Facebook, Meta, Instagram, Meta, Instagram followers.
It connected you.
It connected us.
Right. Well, that's really interesting. I really sympathise with the school thing. I feel the same. So the question was kind of because I wanted to know if you you know how they say that when you have children, you should do better you should give them what you didn't have as a child, or try and better their childhood than yours. Which I don't think is definitely not always the case. But do you think that we've done anything better, or what have we improved from your childhood for our kids?
You're not going to like the answer.
But this is a positive question.
Yeah.
So you're going to say nothing?
Well, I don't think we can, because there are more children. So the more children you have, the less good you are at parenting.
But how can you say that when you see how amazing they are together as a group?
Great. So maybe that's it, that we've given them each other.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
But also, I don't think, not all siblings are good news for other siblings. Like, I have a lot of regret about the way I was as a child with my younger brother. So like, there's every chance that he would have been better off without me. And I think about that a lot, and a lot of the guilt I have around how much me and my brother used to fight and that we weren't nicer. But then now I know him as an adult. He's a very different character that takes the way in which you negotiate conversations with him. And he's brilliant and very smart and like full of love, but at the same time isn't typical in the nature of his conversation. And I think that was probably true when he was a child, and I didn't have the empathy as a child, which is understandable, to be able to deal with that. So I'm not sure siblings are always good news for each other. I also think, like, obviously, this is I should write that down. Let's bring this joke back. Juggling. Like, I was trying to do this joke for a while, but I never quite got to make it work. But I really think there's something in it. It's like, the difficulty of having a child doesn't get more difficult by one child with every child that you have. It grows like COVID. Like, it gets exponentially more difficult. To be a good parent to one child, you need 2 parents. To be a good child to 2 kids, you need 4 parents. To be a good child to 3, you need 8. To be a good child to 4, you need 40, like whatever. It grows like that. It's like, you could be the best juggler in the world, but if I give you 1,000 balls, you can't juggle them. You could be the best parent in the world, but with a certain amount of kids, you just can't do it anymore. So that it is more difficult. We are more short-tempered, and we have less time for them as individuals because there are more of them. But they do have each other, which is, whatever. I'm not
the greatest gift of all.
I think your mum is a gift that we've given our children that I didn't have. I mean, my parents worked, and I suppose we're at home a lot more. We see a lot more of the kids. So there's that. And your mum being quite single-minded, and I think having viewed her own time as a parent, she now sees her time as a grandparent as an opportunity to sort of correct some of the things, or just to focus in on one area. So she helps them academically excel. I never really had anybody over my shoulder helping me reach any academic potential that I either did or didn't have. But getting people, or getting children, into the mindset of hard work wins prizes is not something I was too busy browsing the Argos catalogue. I was already thinking about the irons and hoovers that I was going to acquire, not had the money I was going to earn to acquire them.
Yeah, that's really, really fascinating. Whereas my childhood was all about the harder you work, the better you are, the more you train, the more you think about everything precisely and how you're going to get your goal and get where you want to go and win that match, beat that person. Yeah, that was everything. And that's as good. I mean, so much good comes from that in instilling discipline and drive, but ultimately you fail so much more than you should before you're 16. You failed hundreds of times and you've had to deal with that rejection and that failure, which children who don't do competitive sport just don't experience that. So maybe the reason why I'm so incredibly pessimistic and realistic is because I have lost so much throughout my childhood. So I think that's really interesting and leads me on to what I was going to ask.
Sport for me as a child taught me how to be humble and how to be funny. It didn't teach me anything about winning, because I realized very early on that if I earnestly applied myself and tried my best at this sport, it would be an exercise in ritual humiliation. Whereas if I tried to be funny and humble and recognize my own limitations and what could I do in that situation, then I would have a much better chance of A, being liked, and B, maintaining my own sense of dignity.
Well, that's also what I did towards the end of my sport career, which was when I realized that I wasn't going to grow and I wasn't going to be the best and I was going to fail. I started being incredibly loud. So whenever I hit the ball, I would grunt comically loudly and get people to look and hit it as far out as possible. So when I lost, I didn't just lose. I didn't win a point.
Yeah. And that was what inspired your comedy short film, The Grunting.
God.
It's great.
So
it's really funny.
My next question is about, whenever we've got into a fight, I mean, I don't say it so much anymore, but I used to always throw...
Fat loser.
No, Alfie, stop it. That's not fair. Do you want me to say some of the things you've called me?
I was going to say that was a joke. I was going to say that wasn't real.
Well, yeah, but people would believe that. So I used to throw passive at you a lot. Like, you're so passive. And the fact that we have 4 kids when you absolutely did not want 4 kids is a massive,
emblem
indicator
of my passivity. Yes.
And I just wondered where that came from. Have you always been passive and you just kind of sometimes just let things slide by?
Well, I've mentioned this before, but when I go for dinner with you or Vaz, or when I would go for dinner with Adam Brace, or really anybody, really, I don't have any dinner companion that cares less than me about where we sit. And I think this is having an angry dad, because I learned to be passive because, oh God, if I state my desire or try and get my way, he might kick off. So for an easy life, we'll just, whatever the louder bloke wants. And I don't give a shit. I'm happy to, I'm above it. You want to sit in the corner, you sit in the corner. You want to sit over there. That's not a good seat. Fine. Pick a seat you like. I don't give a shit. Just as long as you're happy and we can avoid any nonsense, I'll be fine. But
do you think, because since I've started antidepressants, I'm less picky? I've noticed one. I've noticed that I have said to myself, "Oh, fuck it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter." So quite often, I'm really usually quite anal about cleaning and making sure their beds are made or whatever. And mess, I get really affected if there's mess, or if I'm not sitting in that seat, or if the seat isn't quite right. I used to kind of agonize about, no, I need to just make sure everything is exactly right before I sit down. Now I've noticed that I still have that hanging over me, being like, oh, that isn't quite right. But as I've sat down, I've been like, it really doesn't matter. Just let it go, eat, go to bed, whatever. So maybe you were exposed to a number of people early on that were quite high maintenance and maybe depressed, because I think all of those little things, that hang-ups of mine where I needed things to be like this, and because I wasn't happy. So those things lining up and being perfect made my unhappiness less obvious. So maybe you from an early age, you've kind of tempered your own needs and stuff because you've been trying to ease people who are unhappy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like everybody was on antidepressants around ours. It didn't seem to make them any less. I mean, not the kids, but most of the adults who had any care of me were on antidepressants. I was, or if not all of the time, then a lot of the time, or for a large portion of my childhood. But it didn't seem to alleviate any of the symptoms of anger. But there was a. I think you look at your childhood and there's like vast swathes of time that you don't really recall, and then another like chunk of time that you will have vivid memories of, and it'll feel like that period of time lasted a lot longer, but in real terms it actually was just something that you remember more of. And it tricks your brain into thinking that your childhood was a certain way, but actually, I mean, obviously I remember more after 11 than I do before it, despite my memory starting at a very impressively early age. And I wanted, like, I think my mum was also quite high maintenance, but she always seemed like the lower maintenance one around my dad, because my dad was much more so in that era. That's why it was kind of quite combustible, their relationship, and indeed combusted. When my mum got remarried, she had this manager type, like she had a business guy, a guy with a job, like who could be her manager, who could placate her, who was very good at bringing her down and going, hey, it's all going to be fine. Don't worry about a thing. I'm here with you. There's always a solution. It's all going to be all right in the end. If it's not all right,
great.
It's not the end. It's all going to be great. And that was very helpful to her. And I learned a lot about how to deal with you from him. And actually, maybe a lot of it comes from him, is that I'm playing the long game, and I'm learning that the quickest way to bring you down away from something is not to kind of rut with you about it, but to soothe you. I will get rid of this vibe quicker by soothing than I will by confronting. And it's a good skill to have, albeit I can't summon it in the mornings.
And yeah, you completely must have learned that from him. But also the fact that you grew up with creatives as parents. I mean, we are bizarre people, and your parents are bizarre people. My parents are bizarre people. Like we are. I mean, everyone I guess is bizarre, but yeah, I've never really thought about that before with you. Even though you are obviously a creative, I can hear Margot singing. You have a lot of personality traits of somebody who isn't attention seeking at all. Whereas usually,
that's arrogance.
I don't think you are arrogant.
No, it's like I don't need to be attention seeking because I know I'm quite secure in my own value.
But you seem to have been secure forever, and I don't understand why, because there are so many massive, glaring signs that you shouldn't sometimes be secure, and yet you.
But what is there not to be insecure about?
I know. I'm really happy that you're like that, but like, I find it incredible.
I'm the perfect height for a man.
Okay, no, we're not going to list now your good things.
I just don't. There's no.
Perfect. I'm not talking about your fucking height or aesthetics. I'm talking about your creative, soul and talent.
No problem there.
The perfect height for a man.
I am. I'm gonna die on that hill. 5'10" is the perfect height for a man.
Don't say that.
It is.
Okay, right. Listen.
It is. What's the perfect height for a man then?
I don't care. I don't care about height. Yeah, obviously I don't care about height. Okay, I have so many questions and I'm not going to get through them all, so can you just be a bit more focused, please?
Okay. Do you want me to rattle through my answers a bit more quickfire?
Yeah, definitely. Be a bit more focused. They're really good answers, though. You're making me cry. I don't know why. Maybe
You're
I'm.
not
Oh, it's
crying.
because I'm ovulating. I'm going to cry at anything.
Do you want to sing your song?
No.
I wanna
No, Alfie, stop it.
We've sung it on the podcast
Stop
so many
it.
times.
I don't care. Stop it. I don't like that, okay? Stop. I don't like that. Stop right now. Okay. What was the overriding feeling during my pregnancy with Donnie once you found out? Your overriding feeling.
Again, I don't really think that I allowed myself a feeling. I don't think I feel feelings in times like that. I just understand that.
Mood. What do you want me to say? Like,
No, but I'm arriving at like an answer, but just in a
slowly.
Is it in a circuitous way? My overriding feeling was a sense of duty, and a sense of like, and a sense of assuredness that I was doing the right thing, and not only the right thing by you and the baby, but by myself. There was no doubt in my mind that if, when you said to me, I can be as involved or uninvolved as I want to be, if I went, thank you so much, I'm going to go full Dwight York, cheers, then, an absent father, then I would have regretted it forever. And I would wander through each day with a palpable sense of absence. Like your absence and his absence, or hers. I wouldn't even bother to find out. So I was very sure that, and I'm very good, I think, at when the circumstances change, I change my project. Like right, let's make the best of this. This is the way that life is. I don't really rue mistakes. I don't think about what could have been very much.
In a way, you're like Katie Price.
I'm a lot like Katie Price. Yeah.
She only looks forward. She doesn't like reminiscing. She doesn't like looking backwards.
Mm.
We're watching the Katie Price documentary, just in case anyone's wondering.
I think they got that.
Yeah, you are very, very good at just adapting. You're incredibly good at it. You are resilient, and you. Yeah, you're good under pressure. And I guess this was high stakes, high pressure from the second that I told you.
Mm.
So yeah, of course you were always so great. I don't like the word duty though, because then it feels like you're fucking me out of duty.
Well, that's all. I suppose, right. So what I'm talking about is at the very beginning of the pregnancy, when I found out, when the whole rest of my life suddenly dawned on me in a day. Like that's. To go from, like, lots of people try for a baby, get pregnant, boop, it was it. The whole rest of my life was different on April the 9th, the morning of April the 9th, 2014, to the evening. Doing that gig at Derbyshire University with Tom Wrigglesworth, driving him all the way there, and you were, and I was just living my normal life, going about my time, seeing whoever I was seeing and getting pissed all the time. And on my way back, the whole atmosphere of my life and the rest of my life was totally, totally different.
But I think with the first, I mean, for both of us, we didn't know what having a baby was like. And I didn't ever really think about the rest of my life because I was so... just couldn't quite believe it was going to happen. And that's why I delayed so long telling you, because I was like, well, I'll miscarry, or, you know, it won't last. Or...
Sounds like you're planning to do that. I'll just miscarry.
And I didn't want to tell you before, well, definitely not before the 12-week scan. And then I was going to delay it until the 20-week scan, just to, you know, to be sure. But then it got to the point where I felt, when you popped up on, you know, Facebook or something, or I would feel...
you asking for a second date when you were already pregnant.
Yeah.
Like a few months after our one night stand, I texted you, and you said no because you were pregnant with my... It's a really weird reason to get turned down for a date. No, I don't want to go out with you because I'm actually pregnant with your child.
I didn't say that, did I?
No, you didn't.
I said, have you got an STD test yet?
And I said no.
And I said, well then, show me the papers. We'll go on a second date to M&M World. Don't you worry.
I mean, you've never been to M&M World.
No. I saw a family with a giant bag of M&Ms on the train yesterday. And I did think, what an amazing life. To sit on a train eating a giant bag of M&Ms like you don't have a care in the fucking world.
As our relationship developed throughout, it became very exciting because but then it became more normal because I started falling in love with you throughout the pregnancy. And it just became like a brilliant discovery and exciting and all the things that falling in love with somebody usually is.
Do you think that you would have, if I wasn't pregnant and we had gone on a second date, do you think that you would have fallen in love with me that quick?
No.
Right. Cool.
But I have no idea. I mean...
because I know it was quite painful in a way because it's like getting a massive cake and it being the most delicious cake you've ever eaten and it all being there. And
is that a metaphor for me, my cock?
Not your cock, you right. Just in general. And having a tiny little bit of it and then having the cake right there. And so we had sex and then I was like, oh no, I'm gonna really like him and he definitely doesn't want a relationship, so I'm just gonna be pining and pining. And all of my 20s, I was just pining constantly. I tried to write a book called Pining. I thought
it was called The Pining.
It might have been The Pining. But
I think it was called The Pining.
So many drawings about pining and unrequited love and being rejected and waiting for a text and then you, like somebody who all of the people that I ever dated were in my ballpark, okay? They were like, they were all lovely men, but I didn't ever feel like I was out of my league. Like I could handle that and we were similar status and everything. But for some reason I did feel like, no, like I'm not, he's so funny and he's so handsome and he's so cool. Like, why would he, like it just felt like completely, it was a new level for me. And so the idea that you would want to see me again, I just like, I doubt it. So I was like, I couldn't quite enjoy the experience because I was like, this is it. Don't really get that into it because you're never going to see him again. So don't really enjoy that cake because you can't eat it.
Yeah. I think there's an extent to which your pregnancy took, like, I was happy that you were pregnant because it means I couldn't second guess anything. It means I can go, oh yeah, but what if I want to do this instead? It's like, well, I can't, so I won't. It's not a thing that I have to worry about. Like, what if something else? And I think being so fickle and in my mid-20s and also like right off the back of another relationship, right off the back of two very serious relationships, and within 2 months of that one breaking up, you were pregnant. I had very, very little time and also never developed as a human being on my own terms. I don't have space for regret, really, but I think it would have been of benefit to me to, at some point in my 20s, maybe had a year or two where I lived by myself and learned how to be self-sufficient. And I would be much less of as my critics will call me, an adolescent man-child, if I'd had that time to develop. But I never had that time. But
I think that you would have been single forever if you had had that time.
Maybe. I don't think that's true at all. I just think I would have had lots of different relationships, all of which would have lasted about 2 to 3.5 years, and I would have gone on that cycle for
forever.
For until it's like musical chairs. Until you get to a certain age where you go, I can't really break up with this one because it's time to get married. So
time to get married? Do you think you would have thought like that?
Well, no, but just I can't be. It's not dignified for me to be doing this anymore, so I've got to stop. I don't know. I'm completely guessing.
Yeah,
but
so
at the same time, like I never felt like that power dynamic that you express being present for you. I never felt. I thought you were incredibly beautiful from the first moment I saw you, and I was taken aback by it. But also this, yeah, I just thought you were.
It wasn't so much power. It was the. I just didn't think that I would. I did not project that I would end up with a creative.
Right.
I thought that I would, because I think it's so, I'm so glad that we are together doing this weird job and
this weird job. We're doing it right now.
No, not one. Yeah, obviously this is a job too, but I mean, we both are fumbling around to make some kind of art the whole time. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, we're on that road constantly to trying to make something good. And I think it's so unreliable and unstable and scary and you know, dire at points. And I think I just always thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be with someone who is safe. Because then at least I don't feel so, I don't know. I didn't think, I never thought that I would be with someone who would provide for me financially, but I definitely thought it would be.
Worked out then.
Yeah. I was going to be independent, but I think I don't really identify as well as a an artist in some ways. I feel like I'm so practical in lots of ways. I just thought that I would be with someone like that. So I'm really glad that we are, but it's also, we have chosen quite a, you know, if we both don't make something good, we're absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And I think that in terms of, for me, with our kids, there is so much amazing benefits to us being creatives and having children. Like I feel like what I'm giving my kids that I didn't have is a freedom, like to let their natural, you know, inclinations kind of come whenever they choose to surface, you know, their interests and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas because it was quite put on me from a young age, with the best intentions from my parents, but I'm really enjoying the aspect of seeing where they end up and what they do.
Yes, but then at the same time, no like champion world-class violinist made the decision to be a violinist for themselves. No tennis player chose the occupation tennis player. It doesn't happen like that. So I do wonder, by letting them find their own way, do you limit the potential? And is the potential, like, I see our children and the various areas in which they all excel. They all have these different interests. They all have these. I mean, I was a horse riding person who wanted to be an interior designer. If that had been like right, that's what he is, and like develop that until, like, who knows what I'd be now? I'd be like, I don't even think we can be totally sure of my sexuality right now if that's my life.
Well, that was kind of the question what I was leading at with the passivity thing. And maybe that's because your parents were they needed to work because they were artists too. They needed to work and they were busy. And they did put you into clubs, you did horse riding, but I just find it interesting that maybe you would have, it's almost like all you could do was become a comedian. It was just written for you.
Well, from the age of like 2 years old, I would watch, as well as cartoons, I would watch Alexi Sale and Victoria Wood. And then as I got older, Absolutely Fabulous and The Fast Show and Harry Enfield and Chums. We'd listen to Harry Enfield on Chums on cassette on car journeys. And it was just, I consumed comedy constantly from an extremely early age.
Yeah, and I guess we're doing a similar thing with our kids. I mean, they watch comedy, and Donnie's obsessed with Bo Burnham, and we play musical videos on YouTube, and they dance. But the interesting thing with there is absolutely no way I would choose for them to do to go into the arts. Like even though they, at points have all seemed interested.
Yeah.
There is no way I will.
Well, no, not now.
Encourage
as
it.
Bo Burnham says, art is dead.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll move on.
Come on.
Well, these are now all boring ones that I won't answer because we don't have that much time. But
I think you can go ahead and ask whatever you want, and
he's the best character in a film.
Best character in a film? Oh, that is shit. That's
really
you
shit.
were right. Oh my God. Sorry.
Or film or TV. Like, who's your favorite character ever in a film? Should I tell you mine?
No, it's you interviewing me. Okay. Colonel Jessup from A Few Good Men, or
you can't have an or. That's it.
Melvin Udall from As Good as It Gets.
Yeah, I knew you'd say As Good. That's Jack Nicholson.
They're both Jack Nicholson.
Oh right, okay. Mine's Marge Simpson. Thank you for asking. So, these are now short ones, okay? You're just burping.
Yeah. One day I want to do a really loud belch into the microphone.
Disgusting. No, Alfie. Okay. This is a quick one, so don't be too long-winded, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest drag of me?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the biggest drag of parenting? What's the thing you find the biggest drag about me?
Negativity, constant negativity.
Cool.
Like everything. This is bad, and now this is bad, and now, oh my God, this is bad. And it's just like I feel bludgeoned constantly with like some complaint about the way things are.
Exploded in the bed.
It's just so exhausting to like be. And I choose not to live like that. I to a fault, I choose to be positive.
I don't think you are that positive. I think you are.
No. I try to be, but at least the attempt is there. Because if I just surrendered to my negative instincts, then we'd all be like you.
You're positive after 2 p.m. Once you've woken up.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I feel very exposed podcasting in the AMs.
So what's the biggest drag about parenting?
Yesterday, we had guests, our son's friend and his mother, and we were all in the sitting room together, and me and this lovely woman were having a very nice conversation, but there was just so much noise over there, and because she was a guest in our house, I couldn't do what I would usually do and like demand some, like I can't, and she was just having a chat with me. Are you not like...
She's a mother. She's got 3 kids. She knows that noise is noise.
I'm a father. I don't know that noise is noise. I cannot. It's the noise. It's the constant noise. Oh, my God. I just wasn't built for it. Oh, my God. And I think if I was to combine the two questions, what's the worst thing about you and them, is that when...
I made them.
Well, it's when it's that you... Look, I understand. I love them. I love all of them. Don't regret anything.
All of them. You love all of them.
All of them. All of each one of them. I love them.
Great.
However, when you go, oh my God, this is just so difficult. I go, yeah. Well, enjoy.
I don't say it's so difficult.
You say, look, I'm not going to directly quote you, and I can't remember what. Like,
I just say I'm really tired. I just say something like I'm really tired, and I've got to go back in the car, and they've got this. I never moan about parenting in general because I do love it all.
No.
I love it all.
No. This is what you wished for. This is what you got. You are living your dream. It would be like me complaining about being in the pub. It's like you.
I'm allowed to complain about it even if I love it. I am allowed to complain about it.
Fine.
I am allowed.
Oh my God, I've got to have a 3rd pint now. This is ridiculous.
I am allowed to say I'm tired and I've got to go back in the car to get them, or like I have to go to football now. I'm allowed to complain about it. Doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying like most of it.
And I'd also say that having children is a moral good in a way that going to the pub isn't. So make of that what you will.
Will you have another baby?
No.
Okay, cool.
Will you have another dog?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'll have another dog. So let's have another baby.
Yeah, when we've got 4 dogs, we'll have another baby. And then we'll get a 5th dog.
I need to just have a career again, I think, before
I think you need to have a career again. I think we need to go on holiday. When we've been, my dream holiday is...
this is a question.
Is it?
No.
My dream...
It's almost. It's what's your dream project?
My dream
Yours
holiday.
is a holiday.
No, it's not. No, you didn't ask that question. You can't take the answer to a question you haven't asked and apply it to a question before you ask it.
Don't tell me off on a podcast, okay?
I know who that's an impression of.
Okay.
And
go on.
I want to go to the Maldives. You know, you see these they're so posh, these holidays, and they're so much more expensive than we could ever, not ever, maybe in a bit, who knows, see what happens. And the hotel rooms are on a jetty that go out there. So you go to an island and there's a little jetty that goes out and you sleep in one of the huts suspended in the water, and you have your own little bit of steps down to the water, and then you come back up and it just looks...
Yeah,
it looks just absolutely out of this world, magical, and... I want to do that. And you see Catherine Ryan and Bobby Kustra out there and think, I wish I...
Because they're telling everybody everything.
I wish I was Catherine Ryan so I could snuggle up with Bobby Kustra.
Well, if we had done a TLC reveal all of our show, maybe we could afford that. Yeah? But you won't, because you don't let me photograph our children.
Well, that was a Catherine Ryan inspired decision.
Yeah, she's let that one slide.
Well, I think it's...
Bobby. Bobby.
Well, that's all speculation, isn't it? You've no idea.
I do want to ask her about it. I would love to ask her about it.
Well, if she's a listener.
Well, I remember I genuinely love Catherine Ryan. I think she just is power. I see her and I think, oh, you've got so much power.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, walking, when I was a teen, I was taken by my uncle and cousins, and we went to Bali. I went to Bali when I was 14, completely wasted. But we did stay in a Sheraton where the pool went, your hotel room, you could just jump in the pool. It was like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Okay, that was the boring question. If you could pick a dream project to start in September, what would that project be? Would it be stand-up? Would it be writing a film? Would it be directing somebody? Would it be starting a pottery course? Like, what would you choose to do if you could just, money didn't matter, scheduling didn't matter, we're not in the real world, but you can just do anything for yourself? What would it be? And it's not going on holiday, and it's not, it's like, it's a career thing.
What thing would I most like to make? Yeah.
If there was no rules, if just because you've done comedy forever, doesn't mean you have to keep doing comedy forever. You could just, I could just become a sculptor now if I wanted to.
There are lots of things that I would like to do and lots of things that I see myself being able to fill my time with in September. None of them are ambitious to the extent that they are like out of this world. I haven't spent any time pondering if money was no object, because it is. So I don't have a dream, a dream like that. I just have I have the things that I could do within the realms of possibility. And then if one of them goes well enough that I can start thinking about the next thing. But I don't ever want to act. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it.
And no one's asking, crucially.
Well, no, you asked me what I wanted, and it's a dream.
Oh, is it a dream?
No. You said dream project.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm not bringing in acting. I've never even...
But you said it can be anything. It can be acting. If I said I want to act...
But I know, but you're not saying you want to act.
I know, that's what I just said.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. You clearly want to act.
No, but I don't. I don't. You just can't have a conversation about acting without... No,
but no one's asking you to act anyway, okay? What's your casting bracket?
This is why I don't want to act, because it makes monsters of people. I cannot think of a worse thing for people's mental health than to undertake a career in as an actor. Unless you're Paul Mescal, in which case, your life is just...
You bring up Paul Mescal like every episode.
I can't get over... I want to know... I want to know what's wrong with his life.
Well, because everything seems so perfect.
He just out there, like, chatting about in his tiny little shorts. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Thanks very much indeed for having me. Yeah, well, that was a bit funny, wasn't it? We had a funny time over there. Ha, 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 ha. What is this? And I'm sure his life does contain struggle. It's just not visible to me. Because
you love Paul Mescal, don't you? Do you want to fuck Paul Mescal?
Well, yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Really?
I think what?
I'd let you.
Would you let me fuck any man or just Paul Mescal?
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer you not to fuck any man, but if you had to fuck a man, I think Paul Mescal is a good one.
I think
Can I fuck him?
No, you can't fuck him. You can fuck any woman you want.
Okay, cool.
But I think if in a heterosexual relationship, if the affair, if the cheating that you do is same sex, it's not cheating.
I think people would find that quite offensive.
Who? Why? What? How?
Because it's kind of belittling.
No.
Okay, fine.
But
I want to move on now. I want to
homosexuality.
move on now. I've lost patience with you.
But it's just like tits and a pussy. Like, I can't give you that. So what's the problem? Like, also I can't. Oh, but like, what has she got that I don't? Well, I know tits and a like I know what she's got that I don't. It's like who could get jealous of that? I can't get my head around it.
So you basically couldn't answer that question because you're too rooted in our desperate situation.
It's not a desperate situation. It's an opportunity for great things. But I have lots of things that I want to do come September, and I will do, none to one of them. No, I will.
But basically, you're quite you're one track minded. You want to do stand up and just stand up.
I don't know.
But you have started directing, and you are, I think, really good at it in the little bits that you've done with me. I think you're really suited to it as well with your personality because you're very giving. You see through people very quickly, and so with a stand-up, I think you watch them and you always come away from whenever we watch anybody, you always come away and say something incredibly insightful. So I know you're good at it. But do you think that that's something that you want to continue doing?
Yeah, I really love it when I'm excited about it. I think it's such... when you've got somebody that's listening to you and you're listening to them and you know what they want and you can help them access it and you're helping them do something different and outside of their comfort zone that allows you space inside, because it almost at times feels like therapy. Like I am their therapist and I'm extracting truth from them by asking good questions and helping them arrive at what is interesting about what's going on to them. And then doctoring jokes is fun in an analytical, you don't need that. That language is superfluous and actually takes away from the punchline. The kind of mechanism of the joke is off, or you've written that too short. That's a bit, not a one-liner. Having that sense of insight about what's the way in which joke works, but then making comedians get very nervous about honesty. And I think what I've arrived at in my stand-up is that if you can communicate honestly with an audience, it elevates the value of the joke. So you're doing more for a joke by giving people some of your soul first, and the joke will get a larger reaction because you've given it a context that they can believe in, and helping people with that and how to communicate honestly, which I don't think comes naturally to a lot of people, especially not nowadays, is something I really, really enjoy.
I've never thought of it like therapy. That's such a good point, because you wouldn't go... People are shut off to therapy because they don't want to confront things. And so if you have an act who wants a director because they want to improve their show, but they're not willing to listen and to go to places that are scary and break through their bad habits or their, they won't get anything from a director. Like you won't get anything from therapy if you're lying.
Yeah, exactly. So I do really enjoy that. And I think I'm at a bit of a loss for where I want to put myself creatively. And I definitely want to create something. And I enjoy this podcast and I enjoy creating it. And I think, and it means something to me, even though I find the concept of the podcast it's so vast.
You mean the podcast in general?
The podcast in general. Like, for example, us,
That's quite a good title for a podcast.
We've created over 60 hours of public talking. Like, that's so much talking that there can be very little room for grace or the control and that idea that I had. Do you remember that idea I had in Amsterdam? Which allows the podcast to operate. And the whole question that if you scripted an entire episode of a podcast, what that would ask is scripting a more or less honest mode of communication? Are we more predisposed to artifice, speaking naturally into microphones? Or if we have the time to contemplate what we're trying to communicate, then can we arrive at a deeper honesty? Are we more honest contemplatively, hard word to say, or conversationally? Because I think there's a lot of artifice in conversation. So, I mean, and obviously it'll differ from person to person, but I find podcasts in the main pretty exhausting.
Well, let's end on that note.
No, not doing them. And I love doing this, but this is what I would want to listen to.
The thing is, people do script podcasts. This is the art of the chat podcast, the loose chat podcast is we're we sit down with an energy and dependent on both of our energies and how they mingle with each other, we stumble through an hour.
Yeah.
And it is, I think it will be really interesting to go back. Well, we'll never have time to do this, but I would find it interesting to go and listen to, say, episode 4, episode 15, episode 20.
I can't think of anything I'd
No,
like
of
to
course
do
not.
less.
But I do think it's amazing how much within this year and a half of doing it, how much we've changed and developed as well. I think it's been a very good experiment for us.
Completely.
And also, we go through days and days sometimes without really talking because we're busy or tired, or so. I think
I think you think that. I think we communicate really, really well and very often, and we have a very, very good and strong. There's a very good and strong element of our relationship. We talk a lot.
I disagree.
Well, maybe we could revisit the show Wife Swap. Channel 4's Wife Swap, and you could go and live with another family and see how much conversation you get out of another man.
Right, so with just going back to the directing, I like that. Sorry, that was funny, haha. The directing question, sorry, 'cause it's interesting. What do you think when you were directing me?
Yeah.
What was I bad at? Not in terms of, was my show bad or whatever, but what do you think that I was receptive? Or what do you think I need to improve to be a better performer? What do you think I need to do?
I'm working with somebody at the moment who works page first, and you work like that. You work script first, performance second, and it makes it very hard to develop away from. I find that more difficult because you've already written it all. So apart from like performance tweaking, I think I actually made a lot of mistakes with you when I was talking to you because I was trying to make you more comfortable on stage, but I don't think that really suits you. And I think there are areas in which you excel and you have a great deal of talent in telling stories and acting them out, but direct address to the audience, I think you feel so much less comfortable doing it because you're less experienced in that area. It means that I was trying to help you improve that rather than trying to help you find ways to communicate in a way that you did feel more comfortable. So that's one. But I feel like the new show that you've got at the moment is so good. And I think what I said to you after the last show was it is like your last show in that skin. And then you had to writhe out of that skin and become this. That was you putting that iteration of yourself to bed. And now you can be something different and a more developed. And I just think stylistically you've changed and it's become. I think my last one I was more mature.
With the last one, it was me hanging on to old versions of myself as a performer, and also, yeah, it was kind of trying loads of different styles out within one show, which didn't work. It's not conducive to a good show. That it's trying out too many things.
I think also when there are elements of what you did in your last show you did because you'd had success in previous shows, whereas I don't think that's ever the way to go. And it's always what I've tried to do is whenever I've had a good year, I've never done the same thing again the next year because that would not be true.
That's so true. You've never done that.
It's somebody it's the past informing my present, and it's like they've chosen what works for them, so I'll do that.
But so many acts just do the same every time, but just with different lines. It's the same format,
and it's gash because of that. Whereas I think unless you are trying to arrive at the truth of what it is you want to say in that moment, then it won't be true, and therefore it will be lesser.
You're amazing.
No, don't say that
you
to me
really
on a podcast.
Are.
Thank you. Sorry for
Make a wish. Was it for me to win an Oscar?
No.
Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today, Alfie. You're such an inspiration. You're so eloquent. You're a kind man with a good beard.
Thanks. You want me to shave it?
I don't want you to shave it. I need you to just trim it or something.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
And, start wearing some Factor 50, I would say. That's my only criticism of this performance on the podcast. You didn't wear Factor 50.
Yeah. Factor 50 actually interferes with your estrogen. So that's why you're such a mess.
But not your podcast ability.
No. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.